Dallas. Y'all can hold my Dak. Eagles are gunning for 4 straight wins in Big D this Sunday. Sunday Night Football. I can't wait. Mike Owens is here. Jeremy Burton as well. I'm Adrian Fedque. It's Dallas week. Oh, I can't wait.
Dallas week. And this is really a renewal here of the Eagles and Cowboys rivalry with so many young stars on both of these teams. You look at both of these young quarterbacks, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, both playing outstanding football so far in their rookie seasons. And then obviously the Cowboys with Ezekiel Elliott, who is just really, doing an outstanding job running the ball for the Cowboys right now. I don't know if, people expected him to already have over 700 yards rushing, but he has it, and he's a powerful guy, and the Eagles are going to have their hands full with him. But you know what? It feels good to have this rivalry kind of back because the last few years has kind of been lackluster, but now we could have something special forming here. We could have a rivalry between Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott for 10, 15 years maybe. So this will be the first one of many.
Sunday Night Football, Eagles, Cowboys. I had this circled on the calendar for, since the schedule first came out. And, oh, man, for the division lead, this is such a critical game. And I don't know. I'm just super, super worried about it. I just hope we can, maybe force Dak to make a couple mistakes. Play that, fight in those trenches as tough as we can because their offensive line is really good. Road grading over there. Just Zeke is running all over the place, and they're paving lanes. They're like an asphalt paver on the road on my construction sites, just paving the way for Zeke to just run through. And he's multiple games with over 130 rushing yards, and it's just. Yeah, he's over 700 yards already. This kid's the real deal. And for Dak to step in and play as efficient as he's playing, and Mike's right. This is set up to be, possibly 2, of our franchise quarterbacks renewed for, Dallas and the Eagles. So for years to come, this could be it. The Dak Wentz rivalry. So it's got we got to come up with a good nickname for that rivalry. I think we can work with Dakota and Carson and try and get those, make that a fun sounding rivalry.
Yeah, his name's Dakota. Carson's from North Dakota. Maybe you can, do something with that. But yeah, man. I really think Dak is the real deal. I've heard a lot of Eagles fans talking shit on Dak this week, but I got respect for the guy. I loved him coming in to the draft. I thought I had him as my 4th-ranked quarterback behind that little trio, if we remember, Paxton Lynch, Jared. I have no idea why I even had Jared Goff in my top 3, but whatever. And then obviously Wentz was my number 1 guy. So Prescott was right after that. And EDP and I did the show Monday night. We compared Dak and Carson, and Dak reminds me just a little bit of Donovan McNabb, the big muscular frame that he has. Not as athletic, doesn't have the big arm strength that McNabb had, but he can get it out there a little bit. So this is where let's get your thoughts on these two guys. Obviously, I'm going to assume that you guys think Wentz is better. I also heard something. I guess I heard a poll of scouts, and it was like who's better, Dak or Wentz, and it was like an overwhelming advantage for Wentz. So let's get it to you guys. Who's the better quarterback and why? And what do you think each guy can bring to the table?
Well, I think that Wentz is the better quarterback, but not by much. Really, Prescott has really impressed the shit out of me. I was not expecting him to come in right away and play like this. Obviously, going into the season, we all thought that it was going to be another year of Romo eventually getting injured at some point during the regular season, and that's how they would have to welcome Dak Prescott into the league. Well, it happened that Romo ended up getting injured in the preseason, and Prescott was propelled into action a lot sooner than the Cowboys expected. And, ever since the preseason, Prescott has he's pretty much done everything right. I mean, he went at all those snaps without throwing an interception. It took him forever to finally throw a damn interception. He finally did it. So the guy, he brings a lot to the table. The thing with Prescott is he does a lot with his legs. He takes off more than Wentz does. So I think where the two kind of may differentiate, I think that if you're talking about intelligence, I think that Wentz is the smarter quarterback when it comes to when you're talking about football knowledge. I think that's where Wentz kind of outduels Dak. But I think where, Dak makes up for that is he makes up for it with his legs. Wentz may decide to make a spectacular play where he'll elude the pressure and he'll throw a 73-yard strike to Darren Sproles like he did in that Steelers game. Now, Dak, he's going to decide to, instead of, throwing the ball, he's going to take off and, go off for a run, and it could be a big run because he has the ability to make people miss. So, they're both have, great skill sets. And with Dak Prescott, he went so late in the draft. He was a mid-round pick because he had that DUI right before the draft, so that really hurt his value. So if it wasn't for that, it's very possible that he could have been a second-round pick. So, but I think it's a very close call. But I think going forward, I think that Wentz definitely has the higher ceiling. And what you have to remember, too, is Wentz is not working with what Dak Prescott has in Dallas right now. Prescott has a great advantage that he has one of the best offensive lines in the league. He has a running back who is battling to win Rookie of the Year and battling to win the rushing title. And in Philadelphia, Wentz, it really doesn't have any receivers. He's really battling through an offensive line that has a suspension to Lane Johnson, doesn't have a star running back. So Wentz, he's trying to deal with a lot in his rookie season, but he's battled through it, where Prescott kind of had things handed to him right away.
Yeah, you brought up a lot of the points I was going to say, but, I did like Dak from the beginning in the draft. I did kind of compare him to McNabb. I wanted the Eagles, if we didn't trade all our picks and trade all those picks and move up to get Wentz, obviously I would have taken like an offensive lineman in the top 10, and then I would have taken Dak in like the third round.
Yeah, that was a guy we wanted. We all wanted him if we would have stayed put.
Yeah. He's been very efficient, and like Mike said, he's working with the best offensive line, a great running back, star receiver, but he's been hurt as well. And what do you think Wentz would be able to do if he was working, with Dallas' offensive line? He might be really lighting up the scoreboard there, and especially with like more weapons and a consistent running game, not Ryan Matthews losing the game on a fumble, and that rotation we have. Granted, we're using our guys in a correct way, mixing Sproles and Smallwood in there, so we have our rotation and they all have their roles. But there's something about just having that every down back that can just chug away yards. It really takes pressure off the quarterback. So ultimately, yeah, it is close, but I would still take Wentz as my franchise quarterback. He's a proven winner. Just his preparation, his smarts, the way he just handles himself, and I just think he's a perfect fit here in Philly. Not that Dak wouldn't be. I just think, I think Carson has a little bit more upside. He's got more size. He's got about 20 pounds and 3 more inches on him, on Dak. And Carson's athletic as well. He hasn't really taken off as much as Dak has, but the ability's there. He can, if need be. And it just seems like, Carson is a good decision maker for the most part, with the exception of, that horrible pass last game. But overall, Carson, I think, is the better play here.
Yeah, I mean, the argument you get from all the Dallas fans is that Prescott has the better stats. Well, if you guys know me, I don't give a fuck about stats. Stats fucking suck. I watch the tape. And if you watch the tape, I mean, you can really see the velocity on Wentz's balls and how he can fit it into tight windows. And I mean, it's just little things like that he has an advantage over Prescott. So they're both going to be great quarterbacks. I mean, it's not far-fetched to say that, Wentz can be like Andrew Luck and then Russell Wilson. You got that comparison with Prescott. So, I mean, both these guys are going to be really, really good. I really believe that. So, I know there's a lot of Eagles fans like trolling and saying that Prescott is a bum. He's overrated. I don't think that's the case. I think he's the real deal. So just calling it like I see it. And, so I mean, they're both going to be great. So, all right, let's move on to this game. Now, the most important factor of this game is getting pressure on Dakota. So you got to bring the heat. Now, I'm a little bit concerned because we remember the Washington game. We weren't able to penetrate on that offensive line. And this offensive line is even better. So you go from like a top 5 offensive line to now the best one in the league. But here is where this comes into play. Because for the first time last week, Jim Schwartz brought the blitz. So if you look at the stats, God, I just said I wasn't a stats guy, but but if you look at them, Schwartz brought the blitz 12 times last week, and that was after only bringing it 13 times the previous 3 games combined. So maybe if you bring some heat, maybe that's how you can get to Prescott. So, I mean, it's going to be tough, man, because like if you don't get the pressure, our secondary gets exposed. But if you start bringing too much heat, well, they got Ezekiel Elliott that can cause a lot of damage too. So a lot of weapons there on Dallas's offense.
Yeah, well, went back and looked at the Lions game and he looked at the and we weren't getting pressure on the quarterback and our secondary was just getting exposed. And I think he made some adjustments and he knew that going into the Vikings game, he had Broder that really get out of the pocket, so he figured he's going to bring the extra heat on him and see what happens. And, well, Bradford crumbled just like we knew he would. But this game is a bit different because there's no Sam Bradford. Prescott's going to be able to get out of the pocket. He's going to be able to run a little bit. So I think what you're going to see, we're going to see with the blitzes, I think we're going to kind of see it in between here in the numbers that you talked about. I think that Schwartz is going to bring the heat a little bit in this game, but I also think that he's going to rely on his defensive line too. And I think really his game plan, I think, is going to depend on how the game starts out. The Eagles really have to get off to a fast start, but it's also going to depend on if his defensive lineman can get after Prescott early. Now, if he can get pressure with his front foot, he's going to continue to do that throughout the whole game. But if they can't get pressure, I think he's going to have to mix it up. He's going to have to start bringing that extra heat because the Eagles can't afford to fall behind by a lot early on in this game. So I think it's really going to be, with Schwartz on how much pressure he decides to bring on Prescott.
Yeah, I think we got to find a happy medium between the Redskins game pressure and the Minnesota game pressure because I think if we, blitz too much, I don't think, we will expose our secondary, and their offensive line is far superior than the Vikings' offensive line, who is rotating in 3 different backup tackles. All right, so, and you don't want to completely abandon the blitz because then you only got 4 guys down there, and they'll just carve holes for Zeke, and I just don't think that's a great deal. So I think we got to have a good mix of, run your zone coverage with some blitzes. Maybe be exotic with it, like he did some real nice exotic blitzes in the Vikings game. Sending D-backs. I think we'll see Malcolm Jenkins down in the slot a lot more this game, which is what happened when Rob Brooks got hurt. Now he's out. I think Jenkins is going to slide down the slot more and be in the box. So, I like him in the box. I think that's a good strategy there. You just can't, fall down early. Don't get behind early. I'm not as worried about the Eagles scoring. I think we can score. It's just limiting their offense as much as we can. I mean, if best case scenario, it's kind of a high scoring game, and we have the ball at the end and win on the last possession. That's how kind of I see it. So, Schwartz got humbled after that Redskins game. He took the guys out to the woodshed and beat them and told them like cannot happen. So, he turned it around, and he's definitely capable. He's seen film on these guys for 6 games, and he's got trust in Jim. So I think that's his game plan is going to be pivotal in us getting a win this game, and just forcing that one mistake that could turn the tide of the game. Get a turnover at the right time. Special teams as well has been great. A couple return touchdowns the past few games. So, just got to keep that going. Fit Schwartz, it's going to be huge because I think our offense will be able to score.
All right, just a comment on Jenkins real quick. Doug Peterson did say that he will play in the slot in nickel situations. They'll bring Jalen Watkins in to play safety. So that's a little bit concerning because Jenkins struggles against those quick type of shifty receivers. That's exactly what Cole Beasley is. Cole Beasley lit him up last year. I know it was reported that Jenkins had played with a concussion, but I believe Beasley had 108 yards on him last year. So, got to limit that. All right, so we'll get back to Dallas's offense. I want to talk about Wentz now because his quarterback rating over the first 4 games, 103.5. Ever since Halapoulivaati Vaitai was moved to right tackle due to Lane Johnson's suspension, the last 2 games, his quarterback rating is only 63.5. As you can imagine, the Washington game, he struggled. I mean, he got pressured relentlessly, and he struggled in that game. Last week, he didn't get pressured as much. He didn't get sacked, but, kind of turned it on in the second half. But, what I saw last week was, like, almost impatience. Like, he was almost expecting pressure, and it didn't come, and he was, like, getting rid of the ball too soon. We saw this especially on the one play to Aguilar down the right sideline. You wait one more second, that's a touchdown. So hopefully, Wentz kind of picks up his play a little bit this week. I mean, I still don't have a big problem with how he's played. I think he's been fine. Just dealing with the circumstances he's been dealt. But you got a defense that only has 9 sacks on the year. Dallas is 30th in that area. So I think Big V should be able to hold his own in this one. He only got help on 5 to 28 dropbacks last week, and he got a C- from me. So he did a better job with his hands. His hand displacement was better. Had a more wider base, so it wasn't as narrow. He wasn't getting overextended. He still can't cut block. I mean, his cut blocking is awful, but he was better. And going up against that Dallas defensive line, I mean, Jack Crawford, I'm not scared of him.
Yeah, you talk about Wentz, and I think that this is a week where he has a big bounce-back game.
Yeah.
I think that the Vikings game was probably the best thing that could happen for him. He was going against one of the best defenses in the NFL, and he definitely struggled a lot. But, I mean, that's really expected for any rookie quarterback when they're going against really it was the best defense that he's seen all year so far. So the fact that he struggled is not really concerning to me. It was actually encouraging to me that in the second half, he was able to lead his team down the field in the third quarter for a touchdown, which kind of, made some distance on the scoreboard in the game, and it kind of helped the Eagles go ahead and win that game kind of going away. So I think that Wentz is it's good because he's going to go back. He's going to look at that game film now against the Vikings and see the mistakes that he made. And you can tell from Wentz's press conference this week, he's got the right mentality towards all of this stuff. So I think he's going to overcome it. He's going to overcome all the naysayers, all these people that are saying maybe he shouldn't be so aggressive. That's bull crap. The guy's got to go out. He's got to play his game. Let him be aggressive. I love the fact that he's aggressive. And I think that was the biggest thing in the Vikings game between him and Sam Bradford. When Bradford got rattled and he went in his shell like we knew that he would. With Wentz, he doesn't go into his shell. He keeps his head out there, and he actually extends his head even further and gets more aggressive when he's making mistakes. So you got to like that with Wentz. So I think that he really bounces back this week. And it's kind of a good opportunity for him because he's going up against a defense that he can maybe take advantage of a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was great watching Wentz's press conference yesterday. One of the reporters is like, "Oh, after you get a chance to look at the tape, how do you think you did?" I gotta do a much better job. I gotta do a lot better. He knows, he knows he started off really slow, and yeah, like Mike said, the fact that we still kept his head up, we scored in the second half, and we got the win. He wasn't discouraged by those 2 picks, one awful throw in like triple coverage, and getting hit and putting the ball on the ground a little bit. But yeah, he overcomes all that. I mean, this kid is just another test every week. He's just so poised, and what he can do is just so encouraging, and the future's so bright with him. And now here's another test, against the division leader in their house, Sunday Night Football, under the lights. Couldn't be a greater opportunity for him to bounce back against an exploitable defense. Vitae just hopefully, gains, getting better every day. He hopefully takes up that C- and gets it closer to a B- this time. Like you said, Jack Crawford's going to be on his side, so not as worried about him. But they got some good linebackers and Sean Lee. And half decent secondary, but it's exploitable. And
yeah, it's a terrible secondary.
Well, Skandrick was okay. But
Here's a good nickel corner. Brandon Carr sucks. Morris Claiborne sucks. I do like Byron Jones a lot. I like him. But, dude, if there's one game where DGB finally fucking shows up, it's this one. Damn it. I'm starting to get a little discouraged, boy. Get your game up.
seriously.
Yeah. So, a lot of Eagles fans are hopeful. They're telling me I'm stupid and, saying, he's good. So we'll see. I think he's just average. What do you guys think? Because I'm taking some heat.
Yeah, DGB, I mean, there's nothing special about him. He is what he is at this point. He's not going to do anything outstanding. I think we can expect to see what he's done so far this season. He gets a catch here or there, maybe, breaks off a nice run after the catch, but can't really expect much from him. So, yeah, the thing that I guess I would say, the whole DGB thing, the thing that has surprised me the most is that we haven't run the fade route with him down in the red zone.
That's true.
That's the most surprising thing, because I thought when we brought him in here, I thought that's all we were going to run with him, because I kind of knew that he's not really the type of guy who's going to go out there and run a perfect route. I mean, you heard that's why the Titans got pissed off at him, because he was running bad routes, wasn't doing his homework. So, yeah, he's probably not the brightest guy in the tool shed. So you just got to run fade routes with him. And I think maybe the Eagles are trying to do a bit too much with them. If I'm the Eagles, maybe you have Josh Huff. Maybe his confidence is boosted after last week. You got maybe use him more as a,
hold on. Now you're going too far.
No, I'm not. No, I'm talking about how they've been using Josh Huff to his advantages as more of a running back on the end around and things like that. Not just Huff as a wide receiver, but using Huff to his abilities, getting him the ball in space. But, yeah, DGB, I'm surprised they haven't more run of the fade routes with them yet.
No, actually, that point I definitely agree with Huff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first throw we threw to him in the preseason. It's like, oh, okay, this is how we're going to use him in the regular season. Yeah, not really. But, yeah, you just want to strangle him because he's got the perfect size and speed for a wide receiver, but he just can't seem to put it all together. Hopefully this is a game that Ertz finally comes through in the down those seams, in the middle of the field. I think that's where we can exploit them. So, we'll see. Dougie P's got to put that game plan together and put the guys in the best positions they can. Little jet sweep to Huff. I wouldn't mind that. That seemed to work before. A little wide receiver screens, even though I hate them, especially when they're not blocked right. We'll see. We got to pull out all the stops here. This is a huge game, and we need the win.
Well, the thing I hear about DGB is, like, they don't get him the ball. Well, in order to get the ball, you got to get the fuck open. Like, it's basic football. So he's a lazy route runner. Now, I get it. Like, yeah, throw it up to him, let him make a contested catch. But if he doesn't make a contested catch, that ball's getting picked off. So, it works both ways. So, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what I really expected out of DGB. Like, considering we got him for basically a jar of peanut butter and Dennis Kelly, I mean, what did you really expect? Like, did you guys really expect a superstar? Not really. I didn't. So, I mean, I thought he'd be above average. So, we'll see. I hope he starts picking up his play, really. Maybe next year he'll be better. Maybe this year is just going to be a waste. And that's, kind of like Kiko Alonso was last year. So we'll see. I'm not going to go, but he's not as bad as Kiko. So, yeah. All right. What's that?
Got Kiko.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on. Ezekiel Elliott. How the fuck are we going to stop him? So, if Matt Jones and the Redskins running backs can go for 230 against us, oh boy. So, yeah, I mean, Minnesota last week, that wasn't even a test. They came in averaging 2.5 yards a carry. So, stop the fucking Minnesota rushing attack. It's no big deal. But how the fuck are we going to stop Zeke?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy. He's already got 703 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns on the ground, and he's really improved every game, and that's concerning. And we got to face this guy for a long, long time now. He's good. There's no question about it. How we stop him, I don't know. It's going to be really tough to stop him. Really, I mean, how we stop him is our linebackers are going to have to tackle. And this is my biggest fear is that our tackling is like it was in that Redskins game. And if it's like it was in that Redskins game, Elliott's probably going off for over 200 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns in this game.
NFL record.
Yeah. The linebackers have to fill the gaps and be able to make the tackles in this game to stop Elliott. But I think the key for the Eagles is going to be getting off to that fast start because you really want to put the ball in Prescott's hands and make them throw the ball more than they run it. Because if they're able to establish Elliott early, that's not going to be good for our secondary because then that's when the Cowboys can really open up their playbook. That's when they can start doing some play action passes, and then they really get the Eagles guessing. So I think a win for the Eagles in this game would be if you can hold Elliott, even if you hold him to 100 yards, but limit him to 0 touchdowns. I think that would be a win for this Eagles defense against a back like Elliott.
No, he's going to get his 100 yards. I don't think he was held. He averages over 100 yards a game. I don't think there was many games where he was held under 100. I have to look at his numbers and the schedule he played. But, yeah, if you can limit him, stop him from getting in the end zone, it's just what scares me is like, okay, yeah, Zeke he's an amazing running back. He's had a great college career, and it translates to the NFL. He's in a perfect situation behind a great offensive line. Like, not only Zeke, like, Jason Witten has killed us in the past. Cole Beasley has killed us in the past. And they're getting Des Bryant back. It's like, yeah, it's definitely scary. Zeke isn't their only weapon. You just got to hope Jim knows what he's doing and game plans the right way. Or else Zeke's going to be we're going to be chasing him down. We got to, cover the gaps. Just the best we can. We had Michael Kendrick sightings last week. Maybe it's a turnaround for him. Hicks has been better. These Nigel Bradham's had a solid year all year. So the linebackers are going to be huge to help out with the four guys up front. And, it sounds like it might be without Benny Logan again, when his Bo Allen stepped up admirably. But, that front seven is going to be key in containing Zeke.
Well, Bo Allen might actually be the better run stuffer, but Benny Logan offers a lot in the pass rush. So, I mean, Bo Allen is pretty damn good. He's not as good as Benny Logan, but he's pretty stout. So, you got to gang tackle. That's the key. Is I mean, Zeke can not only just break so many tackles. I mean, when he runs through the hole, he runs with so much balance, and his pad level is always on point, and he can. Like, he barrels through for 3 to 4 extra yards when he has that, momentum and going forward, that forward lean. And, yeah, man, he's a bulldozer. There's no doubt about it. So it's going to be tough. But, the hope, like Jeremy was talking about the hope, I mean, the hope is their defense. Their defense fucking sucks. So, you're going to have to match them basically score for score. It's going to be, it might be, I mean, I don't know. It might be a high-scoring game, but, like, the possessions, I think, are also going to be limited because of how both teams play. So we might have a high percentage of points being scored, but the final score may not be in the 30s. So, if there might be, like, it might be like an 8 to 10 possession game instead of, like, a 12 possession game, which is what it normally is in an average NFL game. So there's that. All right. Let's do predictions. I'm a little bit scared about this one.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about this one. See, because I think that the Eagles need their things to go their way early to really win this one. I think they're going to they want to win. I think they're going to have to get big special teams play in there somewhere, or they're going to have to get a big down. I think that in the end, unfortunately, I think that I don't want to say it, but I mean, my unbiased opinion is I think the Cowboys at this point, I think they just have too much firepower, especially on offense. And I think eventually it's just going to wear down our defensive backs, and we're not going to be able to keep up with them score for score. So I think that we end up falling in this one. I'm going to say 30-23.
Oh, man, you're going to get called out, Mike. Eagles fans are all going to hate you.
It's so tough. Yeah, we're gonna need help. We're gonna need a big special teams play, a big defensive play, something. We have to win the turnover battle. There's a lot of ifs that have to happen.
And that's the problem.
And that's the problem. But I can't pick the Cowboys, so it's going to come down to fourth quarter, and whoever has the ball last. I think. I think we barely edge them out, 28-27.
You just couldn't do it. Yeah, I unfortunately, I'm with Mike. I think Dallas is going to win. I got 27-23. Fuck Dallas, though. Like, fuck them. But, yeah, I mean, we just seem like to be a different team on the road. And I don't think we're going to pressure Dak as much as, we would like to. So I don't know how we're going to stop Zeke. It's just a lot of different things. You know why we're gonna lose? Because Jason Kelsey's gonna have like 3 fucking holding penalties.
Oh my god!
That's where we've been getting. See, if there's only 8 possessions in a game, and 2 of them are killers because you're committing a fucking holding penalty, it costs you the game. And I am really starting to get sick of his shit. And snaps. I don't care what Doug says. And it was Carson. No. Jason, improve your snaps. Fuck, dude. So, yeah.
Dude, I guess we should remain positive because we do have Jordan Hicks, and Jordan Hicks is a Cowboy killer.
Yes.
Now,
Dak Prescott was injured in college. Whatever injury Dak had in college is going to re-injure due to Jordan Hicks.
And then Tony Romo's going to come in, and then we're going to kill him.
No, they would probably have Romo inactive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mark Sanchez, dude.
Yeah.
Sanchez.
Oh, please put him.
Could you imagine if Prescott got hurt and we saw Mark Sanchez? Oh, please, football gods.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he'd be off the mark.
Yeah. Oh, the other problem is too, where I get concerned is if we are in a tight game here, say even if this is something where we're down by 2 points and we're driving at the end and we need a field goal, I don't have any faith in our damn kicker, and I got a ton of faith in their kicker and Dan Bailey. Where if it was the other way around and Dallas is only down by 2, I think that Dan Bailey could kick a damn 80-yard field goal and beat us. So that's the other big difference in this game where we don't have the advantage.
Hey, Caleb's had a good year.
But I still don't fucking trust him.
Oh, no. If for a game-winning kick, I would, I wouldn't be able to watch the TV if it came down to a last-second field goal. I mean, Dan Bailey was battling a leg issue, like I think it was 2 weeks ago. I mean, he's probably fine, but he was having a hammy or groin or something. But I'm sure he's fine. Maybe he'll aggravate it, and then Dak Prescott will go out there and kick for him.
So, and then Bailey's going to kick the game winner, and then those Cowboys fans are going to drink their Baileys because that's what they drink. They're fucking pussies. So yeah. Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm a little bit scared of this game coming in. Dude, man, I think I told you guys this off show. I had Eagles fans calling me out, saying I'm not a fan because I think Dallas is gonna win. Like, what the fuck? Like, really? I'm not a fan because I think just because I'm fucking smarter than you, like that's why I'm not a fan. Like, really? Come on. So yeah. Let's see. Anything else before we head out? I can't think of anything.
I think why, we're so nervous about this game because I just don't think that we're better, we're not better suited to win right now. I think the last game of the season, now that's a different story. I think by then we probably have a better shot at beating them. But right now, I think the Eagles are definitely, as you can tell, they're still battling a lot of issues along that offensive line that they need to get worked out. Just a lot of cohesiveness that they don't have right now, and that's really affecting them with all these penalties, and especially now, they're plugging Big V in there at right tackle. They're still getting used to him being there. So once we start working out these offensive line problems, then I think Wentz will start to settle in again. And then that last game of the season against Dallas, we should have Lane Johnson back by then. So it'll be a different story then.
Yeah, well, 2 tough road division games coming up right now. It's a tough stretch of the schedule.
The Giants, we own them. That's dumb.
Well, we got the win over the Vikings. That was huge. Now, I just, what we want as fans is to just, win these next 2 games, put us in the dominant force in the great position in the division. We might split these next 2 games. I don't know. I can't tell the future, but I am nervous about this game. Huge game, huge stakes. I just don't want to see Dallas 6-1. Like, come on. Like, it's gonna be a tough test. I just gotta hope and pray that we game plan right. Coaching staff has done a great job. So far, with the exception of the Redskins game. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm nervous, but I've been nervous for a lot of Eagles games, and it worked out. So, I was a little nervous for the Steelers game. We kicked their ass. So, when we stopped the Steelers' offense, they arguably have a better offense than the Cowboys. Yeah, they were without Le'Veon Bell, but at the time, D'Angelo Williams was leading the league in rushing. So,
But
that was early in the season.
Game was at home. That's the thing. If we're playing Dallas at home, I think we win.
True, but I'm just comparing offenses at the time we played them.
Yeah. Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah, it's just like the way the matchup plays itself out with their O-line and just the games that we've lost this year. That this is the recipe. This is it right here. Going up against a good O-line on the road and secondary getting exposed. Some good wide receivers. Dez Bryant, fucking Cole Beasley. Yeah, so it's going to be tough. And even you look at our offensive side of the ball. I mean, we brought up Zach Ertz. I mean, he's going up against Sean Lee. Sean Lee's one of the best coverage linebackers in the league. So it's not going to be easy. And I will have a huge pit in my stomach if we lose. And I got to write this fucking recap. Like, I don't want to write a fucking recap if we lose. It'd be like, what if I just wrote "fuck the Cowboys" and just published it?
Adrian Fedke, fuck the Cowboys.
End of post. Done. I'll be the Sixers fan like this.
Oh, Joel Embiid. He'll
dude.
Oh.
Oh. Dude.
He's real.
I'm still wiping the cum stains off my wall.
He's real, man. He's real. If only we had Simmons, but we just gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, that might be a next video. I don't know if Kyle's gonna do that. I might do that, but yeah, a little individual video on Embiid's play from last night. All right, so final thoughts before we get out.
Dallas sucks. They'll always suck. Let's go and beat the damn cockroaches.
To all you fraud Dallas fans that are from the Philadelphia area, fuck you. Go Eagles.
Oh, there's no doubt that Cowboys fans are the dumbest fucking fans in the world. Any sport. They're all fucking dumb. Ridiculous. Oh, I hate them. So, yeah. And dude, I want to say this again. Like, I don't know if, like, you guys are just trying to be smart asses saying that. I'm really perturbed by this. Calling me a fake fan because I think we're going to lose. What the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. God damn, dude. I watch every fucking Eagles game like 3 to 4 times during the week. You watch it once. And I'm not a real fan. That pisses me off. I'm not going to name names because if I give him a shout-out, it'll up his subscribers. So I'm not going to do it. But you know who you are. Yeah. Coming at me thinking you're some big shot. The fuck out of here. Yeah, that's it. We're out. Mike Owens, Jeremy Burton. I'm Adrian Fedke. And fuck the haters. Y'all can suck my fucking dack.